Welcome back, everybody. It is September the 16th, 2025. We are in the final days of the summer of 2025. It's hard to believe. The days are getting shorter, they're getting cooler. A little rain last night, and it is another edition of the new guitar. This guitar, like many of the guitars that I purchased, was a bit of a whim. It wasn't a guitar that I was really looking for. I can say that it wasn't a guitar that I necessarily even wanted, but I did. But then a really good deal came along, and sometimes a really good deal can be the motivator for why one purchases a guitar. So this is another Chibson. This will be my second one. The first one was that SG Junior. This is what I'm going to call, I'm going to give it a name just based on the specs. This would be equivalent to a 1956 Les Paul Standard Goldtop. And I say 56 because I believe 56 was the last year of just P90s. I know that the PAF, patent applied for humbuckers, came out in 57. And I don't know for sure if both 55 or 56 has the fixed tailpiece with the two-pneumatic bridge. And then the early ones had the trapeze bridge, and they had the wraparound tailpiece, and they went through a few configurations, but I believe that the 56 would have been the last year. Okay. Well, it looks nice. You never know until you tune it up. Has a little bit of smudging there, which tells me that this guitar has actually been in someone's hands. The frettings feel overall quite nice. Les Paul Standard. We've got the Gibson covered up. I think they use the same serial number for all of these. 2017. I'm going to weigh this. I'm going to guess, just in case I still have my job in the circus, I'm going to say it's 8.4 pounds. Well, I guess I get to keep my job in the circus. It came in at 8.2. Ooh, how do you like that? So, I mean, again, that's a good weight for a Les Paul. Certainly not too heavy. Doesn't feel overwhelming. Yeah, it looks nice. I mean, it's got a couple little finish flakes here and there, but again, what would one expect? What's interesting is it doesn't seem to have a scarf joint, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it looks like it's a one-piece neck. Yeah, so I'm going to go plug it in, but behold, it looks really nice, and it feels good, and the gold is not too gold. It has sort of that, let's put a little light on it. Yeah, some of these are like shocking gold. This looks more like it has a little bit of that little green elements in there. It is a metal flake paint job, which I did a little bit of investigation, and the original Goldtops did not have the metal flake in it, at least according to the articles that I read. So, yeah, let's go plug it in, see how it sounds. But it's initial impressions, very nice. The wood on the back is really nice. You can see that it's definitely one, could be 2, 3 pieces, but it's got nice lines. I have no idea if it's really mahogany. Again, when you're dealing with a Chibson, who knows what it is. But we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Again, it is September the 16th, 2025, and it's a beautiful late summer. It's almost 1:30 in the afternoon on this Tuesday, and this is the new guitar day. This is the Chibson, what I'm calling a 1956 Les Paul Standard, the P90 pickups, a Goldtop, and I have just played this guitar for an hour, and I'm thoroughly impressed. And I would be impressed for 2 or 3 times the amount of money. The guitar was originally selling in the $180 range. They dropped it down to like $160, and I had some coupons and some discounts and some credits, and I ended up getting this shipped to my front door for $98. And again, if I had paid $300 for it, I would be satisfied. It plays great, it sounds great, it feels good. The things that you can never really know until you buy the guitar: neck profile. I've had a, let's see, I think it was an Epiphone 56 that had a typical 50s baseball bat neck. That's not what this is. This also doesn't feel like a 60s slim profile. It's somewhere in the middle. It feels like a nice C, good grip, but not too big, not too chunky. Again, we weighed this, came in at 8.2, which for a Les Paul, very nice. I always sort of cringe when I get around Les Pauls that are in the 9, 10, 11 pound. Interesting enough, I can't see it if it's there. It does not look like it has a two-piece on the neck here. It doesn't look like a scarf joint. It looks like a one-piece neck, which again, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I don't care. It's got some nice little figuring there, which I like. I like the imperfection of wood a little bit there. Looks like a 2 or 3-piece body. Nice choice of wood. The Goldtop is what I prefer, which is more of a Gibson style Goldtop, although this is metal flake, and Gibson original Goldtops didn't have flake in it. But this has a bit more tint of a green. Some of these things are like blindingly gold. I'm not a big fan of gold anyways, but for the Goldtop it was sort of synonymous with a classic Les Paul style of the 50s. So that seemed nice. A little bit of adjustment to taste would be in order. The action's a little bit high, but there's plenty of room to adjust it down. People say that P90 pickups react best when they're closer to the strings, so either raise up this pickup or drop the action a little bit. I haven't checked the relief on the neck yet. I like to let a guitar settle in for a day or 2 or 3. And again, you know, everyone's got opinions. I'm not advocating for knockoff guitars, although, you know, if you think about it, every guitar that every Stratocaster out there, so this says Les Paul, and on the Tesseract cover it says it's a standard. And if we peel off the sticker, it's going to say Gibson there. And on the back, they go as far as to give it a fake serial number and even say that it's made in the USA. But I would say to anybody who's out looking for a Gibson, you're going to spot pretty quick some things about this guitar that just, yeah. So buyer beware. You know, there's imitation guitars out there. I don't think it hurts Gibson's business at all, because someone who wants the quality of a Gibson is kidding themselves if they think that they're going to get it in this. But for someone who just wants to have fun and enjoy playing guitar and sort of floats their boat to have Gibson on the headstock, it may end up supporting Gibson's business. Someone may buy something like this first and say, you know, I like it, but it just, and they may move up the food chain and decide that they want a Gibson. Who knows? So, but certainly no one's not buying a Gibson to choose this. So from that point of view, it doesn't hurt Gibson at all. Wouldn't it be funny if Gibson actually had an interest in the guitar factories overseas making these guitars? They'd be smart to do so, because it's money in their pocket, and if they put a decent quality guitar out there, but obviously not too good, and you know where they're cutting corners. I mean, the tuners, and the fret material, and the pickups, and the hardware, and the potentiometers, and the strap buttons, and the switch, and I mean, come on, no one's kidding anybody. This isn't top-of-the-line stuff. If you were to tour with a guitar like this thing would probably break down fairly quick with night after night use. That's one of the things you're paying for when you buy professional instruments. You're getting professional grade hardware. So that just goes without saying. So I would just, again, encourage everyone to relax, have some fun. If there are people out there that are truly trying to sell these as Gibsons, again, I would say to people who are buying, take your time, make prudent decisions, think about it. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. You know, a real Gibson like this is going to be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You're not going to get it for 98 bucks. But for what I do, and I promise you, if and when I would ever sell this guitar, it would be made very, very clear to the person I'm selling it to what it is. After that, I'm not responsible for what people do afterwards. You know, that's just, I can't be. So, anyways, you're more than entitled to your opinions. If you're anti-Chibson, look the other way. But for those who have a more open-minded sense of commerce, yeah, I'm very, very pleased. Very pleased with the quality, very pleased with the tone. The one thing that I wouldn't have known unless I bought it again was the neck profile. I was crossing my fingers it wasn't going to be a baseball bat. And I was also crossing my fingers that it wasn't going to weigh 10 pounds. So I scored on both of those levels and feel very satisfied. So we'll be back in a week or so with some more impressions, but I just wanted to introduce you to the 56 Les Paul Chibson Goldtop with P90 pickups. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is now a week has gone by since I've got this guitar. It is Tuesday. It is September the 23rd, 24th, 23rd. I'm going to go with the 23rd. Could be the 24th. Let's go backwards real quick. 18th. It's the 23rd. It is September the 23rd. It is the second day of autumn. Beautiful outside. We're getting a few more warm days. Low 80s today. We may hit 90 tomorrow. That's a possibility according to the weatherman. But it's a lovely day outside, as you can see. Just taking a peek. Flowers are still blooming lovely. Marigolds. Anyways, I just wanted to have had this guitar for a week now. This is the aforementioned Chibson. I'm calling it a 56 Les Paul just because I believe 1956 was the last year of the P90 pickups, but the addition of the stop tailpiece, maybe the stop came in 55, I don't know, so this could be a 55, 56. Anyways, 57, the PAF humbuckers showed up. I'm guessing they still made Les Pauls with P90s. Maybe they didn't. After that, I have no idea. Anyways, I've played this guitar for multiple hours, probably, a good 10 hours, and I must say I'm truly, truly, truly impressed. You know, again, I know there's a lot of opinions out there about the Chibson guitars. I expressed my feelings already. I don't think this is in any way cutting into Gibson's bottom line, because anyone who's going to spend $200 on a fake Les Paul wasn't in the market for a $2,000 Les Paul. Where it does become problematic, and I'm really surprised that the maker of these guitars goes to all the trouble of putting not only a serial number on the back, fake of course, but a made in the USA. I think that's going a little too far. I have a feeling at some point in time I'm going to do something to just permanently indicate that this is not a real Gibson, because, you know, I mean, there's criminals out there that would try and sell you a fake Gibson guitar. I would say to anyone who's going to buy a Gibson guitar, there's certainly multiple ways to figure out that this is not a real Gibson. The easiest probably is to take the truss rod cover off and see that this is just a standard hex, whereas 99.9% of all Gibsons, at least in the modern era, have that dome top bolt or whatever that uses a wrench. But there's other ways to tell. So buyer beware. You know, especially if someone's selling it to you for a price that doesn't seem to be realistic. But the fit, the finish, the quality, if I had one complaint, and I think these are ball-in frets, but they do need a little bit of, they're not sharp, but they do stick out a little. So I don't know how they do ball-in frets. They are sharp, the last two up here where no one would play. This one's like deadly. There's got to always be one in the bunch. But this can all be taken care of quite easily. A little time, a little effort. But the finish on the guitar, someone pointed out that he thought that maybe this is a wrap. It's not actually a paint job, but it's actually a piece of vinyl. and then, then they spray clear on it. I have no idea, again, and I don't care. P90 sound fine. Nice thing about P90s is that even a cheap P90 has a fair chance of sounding decent, because it's just a very unrefined pickup. I mean, it is, I believe, the original electric guitar pickup, or at least one of the iterations. So it just has its own thing going, and I happen to really like P90s. Again, I don't think for this price point they would bother to put a veneer on the back. Maybe they do, I don't know, but I mean the wood was very nicely matched, and it looks like mahogany. Is it? Probably not. The fingerboard looks a little dark, a little too even for me to think it's really rosewood. I certainly don't think it's ebony. It's probably commodulated sawdust and glue for all I know. Obviously the inlays are plastic. Again, none of this matters. The tuners work just fine. The nut was cut properly. There's no pinging. This guitar stays in tune incredibly well. I mean, incredibly well. The typical G string going out of tune. Other than that, I mean, I picked it up after it was sitting on a guitar stand. Temperatures going down to the, 50s at night and up to the 80s during the day. Perfectly in tune. So overall, again, I'm very, very, very impressed with this guitar. It's hard to say who makes these, if one factory is making them all. If you go on Temu, they come from a lot of different stores, and you never really know who's actually making it. One other comment too, the video probably doesn't show it. Some of these so-called gold tops are incredibly gold, like over-the-top gold. This one seems to have the quality of the original gold tops. Per my eye, it has just a touch of green. Yeah, you can hardly see it, but it just sort of feels. As I mentioned, I think when I first took it out of the box, from my research, original gold tops did not have metal flake in them. This does, and I believe most of the modern iterations, at least on the counterfeit side, do. I don't know about official Gibson current gold tops, if they have metal flake tops. Anyways, very impressed. I'm going to post this with the two others. I am still 33 days into my argument with AliExpress over that John Lennon 325 that was just unplayable. Put back in the box the day I got it, has been sitting in the box for 32 days. They want me to pay to return it. I refuse to do so because it's a defective guitar, and their ad clearly states fast free returns, and then they're changing the rules. So again, I've been contesting it with Chase, and I have no idea what the outcome's going to be, but we're still waiting. So we will keep you posted when we find out anything about that. So thanks for joining us. It is going into autumn, so here's to autumn 2025. We'll see you next time.